Hey, welcome to the Daily Gospel of John. We're in an awesome passage today, John 3. I'm psyched that you're tuning in. John 3 is a very famous passage for good reason. We're just going to read the first two verses today, and I'll make a point about that. Hopefully it'll help. Now there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a member of the Jewish ruling council. He came to Jesus at night and said, "Rabbi, we know you are a teacher who has come from God, for no one could perform the miraculous signs you are doing if God were not with him." So here is this man. He is a Jew, a rabbi of the Jews, and actually a rabbi of rabbis. He's a member of the Jewish ruling council of the Sanhedrin. So he is basically the equivalent of like a senator, a Supreme Court justice, and a spiritual leader like a bishop, all rolled into one. Quite a position of prominence. Maybe that's why he came to Jesus at night. Jesus at this point already in his ministry was not real popular with the Jewish Sanhedrin ruling council mafia kind of group. They had their power structure in place, and he was already perceived as a threat. He was developing quite a following through his teachings and his miracles. He was already overturning or challenging them because he had caused quite a ruckus at the temple the day before with the whip, driving out the money changers, throwing tables over, and telling them, "You shall not make my Father's house a house of merchandise. It's a house of prayer." And so he challenged them right in their face in their own backyard. And they're not happy with him. So here's Nicodemus on the ruling council of the Sanhedrin, and he's coming to Jesus, and he comes at night. We can't know for certain because the scripture doesn't say his motive for coming at night. It just says he came at night. We can guess that maybe he didn't want to be seen publicly with Jesus. And before we put him down for that, I would just want to say, hey, I think this guy was amazingly courageous to come at all. If this man was perceived as quite a threat to the Sanhedrin, it wouldn't be good to be hanging out with Jesus in a friendly manner. And yet Nicodemus was captured by the truth and the facts that were right before his eyes. Jesus was doing mighty miracles. They were undeniable. And he had a dilemma. Do I follow the trail of facts and truth wherever it may lead, even if it puts me in a position of danger or unpopularity with political correct views of my peers? What am I going to do? The facts are leading here, but political power structures going that way, and yet he took the step. Even though he took it at night, he took the risky step of hanging out with Jesus, get some of his questions answered. So that's one thing I admire, and quite frankly, I don't see a lot of it today, of that kind of courage, especially in places of prominence like college campuses. Most college professors that I've ever met, I hate to say, so many of them just go with the flow of political and intellectual power structures, and they're afraid to say what they really believe to be true, many of them, because they know it'll mean they're blacklisted, because it's not popular to be a Christian, especially an evangelical Christian who really does believe the Bible, who really does believe in a creator God. And so many of these men are without courage enough to stand up and speak the truth or follow the facts, the trail of facts wherever they may lead. Pretty sorry. And people pay boatloads of money to go to these institutions of learning, basically to get brainwashed by these professors. And politically, we can see, I don't have to say about that, how many politicians do what's expedient and not what is based in truth. But the other thing I just admire so much about Nicodemus is that he humbles himself. He's a prominent leader, and he basically humbles himself and calls Jesus a rabbi. And rabbi means teacher, but it means more than teacher. In our culture, teachers aren't respected as much as they should be, and teacher in that day, rabbi, meant highly honored, esteemed teacher. And so that's how he refers to Jesus. It took a great deal of humility, and yet that step of courage and that that step of humility was about to open the door for Nicodemus to hear such awesome truth that could and would change his life forever, and I think can change ours. So I hope that we'll come with that same kind of courage to go and follow the facts wherever they may lead, even if it gets us in trouble with our peers or our family or our boss, and to have a humility to acknowledge, hey, we don't know it all, and there is one who does, and maybe we need to come and to ask him to help us. So, hey, thanks for watching. God bless.